3 out of 5-2.
Motion and a second. Hearing no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
I'm going to abstain again based on the salary study.
601. Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to approve consideration of salary ordinance established to pay a land use permit specialist OSS 5-2 at $46,487, 40 hours non-exempt. Would you like me to do them all at the same time or separately?
Go ahead.
Number 3, consideration of salary ordinance established to pay of associate land use planner BZA Pat 4, step 2, $56,827, 40 hours non-exempt. Number 4, consideration of salary ordinance established to pay of associate land use planner special projects Pat 4, step 2, $56,827, 40 hours non-exempt.
Second.
Motion and a second.
Yeah, and just a comment, it's not too many times that we do this, but in essence, we're helping the city of Fort Wayne with their needs in this case as well. So I just want to go on record.
And Mr. Chairman, I will also comment that we have changed the city of Fort Wayne's contribution level from 40% to 50%, which is the largest and most substantial increase in the history of DPS.
Motion and discussion.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion is ended. Move to the vote on the 3 new positions for DPS. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Abstain.
Okay. 601. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Youth Services. Good morning, Ms.
So the Personnel Committee did review Youth Services request for a reclassification of their youth care worker. This would also include the transportation officer. These classification is currently at a Pole 2. The recommendation would be to move them to a Pole 3. The vote was 3-0.
Good morning, Kristen with Youth Service Center. Thank you for the opportunity to come up here. I wanted to go back and review a little history with this. Our Pole 2 positions, first of all, there's a mistake on here. It says 18. There should be 20. Our Pole 2 positions are our frontline youth care workers who work directly with the youth in our care. Councilman Freeze brought up that back in 2007, a study, he went before council and requested that jail confinement officers be moved from Pole 2s to Pole 3s. That was approved by council. The rest of the Pole 2s were going to be considered at a later date. The Youth Service Center and the Allen County Juvenile Center frontline staff were those Pole 2s, and it was never brought back in front of council by any of us, and that is our mistake. A lot has happened since then. The work that we do is somewhat similar. We would like to request that this be approved to bring us all back in line again. I realize we serve a lot of different ages of individuals, but again, the work is very similar. Our age range that we serve at Youth Service Center is 6 to 18. Again, we have 20 staff working the front line with these children. We deal with a lot of mental health children. We currently have a 6-year-old and a 9-year-old in our care. Our numbers fluctuate daily. It is very challenging at times. We do not have the luxury of locking them down when their behaviors are so out of control. We have to interact with them. We have to keep them busy. I've had 2 positions open, a 3rd shift on our girls unit and a 2nd shift on our boys unit currently for the Pole 2 positions. The number of applications we are getting has been low for the last couple of years, and the quality of applications have been challenging, to say the least. Any questions so far about any of this?
And so your request is for 20 people to have a pay change, in essence.
To be.
Now, when they leave your organization, where do they go if they leave your organization?
I don't know that for a fact.
Do they go to ACJC?
Their pay is the same. We don't lose very many staff to them. I did lose one last month from our facility to the Community Corrections Program that is paid higher at the Pole 3 level, to my understanding. I can't tell you where they all go.
The challenge that I see, and from an HR standpoint, is that, and this happens in big business, right? Large companies, and I've worked in large companies where we see people move from one organization, one department, one division, to another division, to another department, and all of a sudden, if you're not careful, you're really working against yourself, or one department's paying more than the other, and everybody moves to that department. And then another department says, oh my gosh, we want a raise increase, and everybody jumps to that one, and then the other one was, and all of a sudden, so for the people and the public to understand, this is not unique to government. However, we're not helping ourselves when we're picking one department and moving them up and not picking another department and moving them up. So what do we do as council? Let's bring in a consultant and figure out how to make sure that they're all paid properly. And then possibly out of HR, we create a career path process where we know that they may start in your department and then they may end up moving to another department and then they may end up moving to another department. And that would be the appropriate way to deal with this rather than trying to compete for wages all over the place. So, thoughts to that?
I would argue that I think people come into this profession deciding that they want to either work with children or with adults. And
are there children at ACJC?
They're under 18. Yes.
Okay.
But I think when the pay is higher at other agencies such as jail confinement and community corrections, people may want to move over for the $2 plus more an hour that they can get doing that and change from working with youth to adults. We have lost other staff when other government agencies come out with big pay increases. The last time this happened was about 5 years ago when DCS, Department of Child Services, had a huge increase for their family case managers. We had at least 3 staff leave for that new position. They had great experience working with youth. They were going to get close to $10,000 pay increase by moving, and they moved over. I haven't had a lot of staff move to.
What's your turnover rate this year? How many people have left you?
At least, well, it depends on where you're talking. I've had a couple
20,
cooks.
Yeah, of these 20 that we're talking about, how many people have left?
At least 3.
Okay.
I've got 3 new staff in there
3
right
out
now.
of 20. Okay.
But out of the whole agency, 30 employees, I've lost probably 6.
But the ones we're talking about are the 20 at this point.
The other thing I'd like to bring up is our per diem is at $641.46 currently. This pay increase will be factored into that in our cost report for 2023, and we will receive a return on a dollar.
You've asked for that increase from the state this year or last year?
No, because I couldn't ask for it because it hadn't been granted, but I will definitely ask for it in our new cost report that we will start working on the first of the year.
Based on this?
Yes.
If this doesn't pass, are you still asking for that? An increase from the state?
I can't ask for it. I have to put it in my cost report. So if it's not there, I can't put it in. I have to put actual dollars into my cost report. So if these dollars are being spent, we will get them back through our per diem from the state.
Is it, and last question, I'll give this up here, but last question would be this. Would it be, from a leadership management perspective, is it better to grant everybody an increase today and have them redlined and told them that we've overpaid them, or is it better to wait until the study's completed and then give them an increase? Which would you prefer?
Redline does not mean they've been overpaid. Redline just means they are being paid what they should be paid, and with the new increases that might come following the report that we hope comes out, they just don't get it, but they got it sooner.
Now, redline could mean that the rating came in such that they're not to be paid that rate, and they don't move up until the rate catches them. So that means that they're overpaid at that point. So we would continue to pay them until that position eventually catches up. But that, in essence, is what that means. So I would disagree with you on that one. But your preference, which way would you prefer?
I would prefer to start paying them what they deserve presently.
At the risk of them all being redlined.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Ms. Curry Campbell.